Hey guys, this is Shawn Sanders. Thank you so much for clicking onto my channel. So hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend about me. Just in case you didn't know, you can find me on other social media platforms. You can find me on Periscope, you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me on Twitter. Same name, keeping it simple. So happy Tuesday, happy November 1st. Can you believe it? The year is almost out. My kids are back in school from fall break, so it feels like my Monday because the kids were off yesterday. So they went back to school and our schedule is going back in full effect. So it is November 1st and there's all of these great things that come up through YouTube. You have Nonstop November, Don't Stop December, and Jumpstart January. Jumpstart January is where I made my YouTube debut on January 1st. And so my anniversary is approaching and I'm excited. I don't know what I'm gonna do for my anniversary. If you guys wanna give me suggestions, if you wanna do a Q&A, that sounds good too for my anniversary. But on November, December, and January, there's all these daily vlogs that you can do. So I'm considering doing Nonstop November. I don't know, it's only 30 days compared to Don't Stop December, which is 31 days. That 31 day means a lot. It feels like a lot. So because there were 31 days in Jumpstart January, and there were weak moments in my halfway period, but it was all good. So let's talk about something I've observed. I want to say thank you for all the views, and it's very clear that my audience like pop culture because I did my concert review of Toni Braxton and Joe, and it is still steadily climbing. And I noticed that my highest views were on pop culture. Anytime I talked about celebrities, whether it was my reaction video to Formation or Missy Elliott's video that came out right after, the Super Bowl last year, whether it was my first concert review I did of Gladys Knight, and then just recently my concert review of Toni Braxton, those numbers climb. When I'm talking about fitness or just, normal stuff, I don't get a lot of views, but I checked my views, and I'm sure that from the weekend it's still going up. So evidently this is what you guys like, which I have to say I'm a little conflicted because although I am a pop culture person, I don't really stay on top of it. And I think to be a good vlogger for doing the pop culture, you really got to stay on top of what's going on. And I'm usually, a day late or two because I'm not really watching TV or anything like that. I have long hours at work and I'll jump in and out and see what's going on. But, I feel like I'm informed, but I don't know if I'm the one to give out breaking news. So maybe I'm gonna do Nonstop November, and in Nonstop November I will have some pop culture information to disseminate. Who knows? So I want to talk briefly, I don't want to make the video long, I want to talk briefly about Chateau by Sheree and all the hubbub there is about, her house being done finally after 5 years, and obviously the long-awaited Real Housewives of Atlanta season back on track, back on the air. So this coming weekend is going to be Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine. I have watched both shows from their beginning. I'm very well aware of all the characters. I don't know if I would review it on a daily, on a weekly. I know that it's important to stay, continuous on the weekly videos. So I don't know if I got that in me, but I do know both shows, and I know both of the characters that are involved. So if I was to review it, it wouldn't be on a regular basis. You got YouTubers that are very, very good at that. But I definitely would pop in and out, and maybe if I do Nonstop November, getting those reviews in would be fitting. So let me know in the comments what you want. I mean, this is my channel, but my channel doesn't work if you guys don't participate. So let me know what you would like to do. If you're interested in my opinions, or if you're interested in my particular view, because my view isn't always the mainstream view. I will say that. So, let me know, and I will do my best. So let's talk about Chateau by Sheree. So everybody's all in a tizzy about the fact that, and I will say I have some observations, that she finally has her house done. Good for her. Took about 5 years. Okay. It's a massive place. It's massive. And I believe 100,000 square feet. That's a lot of house. That's like Tyler Perry house. When he did his actual mansion was the view for the movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That was supposed to be her house, the character's house, with her and her husband. So, if you roll back into the videotape vault and remember when Sheree had this house, her kids were little, and she really wanted the kids to grow up in this house, to have a little piece of what she felt a lifestyle that they should enjoy, from the father, who was an ex-football player, and that they should have this life that really they didn't get a chance to live, and she wanted to provide that for them. And it was going to have all these extravagant things, and a skating rink, and a theater, and all that stuff. Okay, so now fast forward 5 years now. Her son is, I guess now, from, if you go by last season, her son is now a sophomore in college, and he's away in college. And her daughter is probably getting ready to graduate from high school. Why do you still have this house? I mean, now she's getting to empty nest syndrome. That I mean, someone explained to me why the house is such a big deal at this point in her life. I can understand wanting to give her kids a great house to grow up in and live out their childhood and all that. But that boat has drifted offshore. I mean, the kids are now into another chapter of their lives. What is the need to have this huge house? And, I'm putting my professional cap on, and I'm thinking to myself, it's not just the house, it's the whole maintenance of the house. I'm not in her bank account, but by all accounts, I know she had the one reality show. I think she was behind the reality show where they were selling real estate in Atlanta. I think she was one of the backers in that reality show, so she may have had money coming from there. Let's just say she has appearances, that she makes where she gets money. Obviously she was charging people $5 to take a picture. That was by accounts of Justin J 1232. He witnessed that. She used their camera and then charged them $5 for a picture. So obviously she was definitely making money off of her image. But you have this 100,000 square foot house, and essentially there's going to be one of you full-time in the house. pretty soon. You know, you think about property taxes. You know, is it a really good investment on your money? Especially when the house is so big, you know, to heat that house, electricity and all that. I don't know if that's a good investment, but hey, I hear in Atlanta they like to do a lot of stunts and shows. And of course, let's talk about, you know, perceived wealth or perceived richness that's part of this Housewives franchise. You know, when you look at it, you got Potomac. I guess Lady Eloise is probably the most financially sound person with her Black Bill Gates husband. Okay, and in Atlanta, hands down, it's Candy. Let's see, New Jersey, maybe Siggy, maybe out of all three of them, and I don't even think she has wealth. I think she's upper middle class, but I wouldn't consider her rich or wealthy. Okay, so in the OC, you have Vicky. She's definitely wealthy. And maybe I would say Vicky would probably be at the top of the list, followed by Megan and her husband, Kelly, Shannon. Well, I take that back. Heather's at the top of the list. I think Heather's definitely at the top of the list. And then Vicky, Kelly, Shannon, and I would say Eddie and Tamara and her husband Eddie. I think they're doing well, but I don't think they're rich or wealthy. I don't think, you know, when coming from when she first started on OC, where there was a lot of extravagance, she's not doing a lot of extravagance. I think she does well and she can buy some nice things, but I don't think she's rich or wealthy. I think she's doing well and she can maintain a certain lifestyle standard in the OC. I think she can do that. Okay, so you got that. Then you have New York. I'm trying to think of the women of New York. I can't even think of the housewives of New York. Well, there you go. There's so many moving parts of the Housewives of New York, and right now I've drawn a blank. Like, none of the characters are memorable. There you go. Let's see. Well, Bethany is obviously on the on paper. She's definitely the richest, I would say. She has definite wealth. Luann has wealth from her ex-husband, so I would say she's on there. She's obviously downsized. Ramona is wealthy. So I would say Bethany, Luann, I can't remember the other ladies. That's terrible. Oh well. You know, they have some perceived wealth, but I don't think that you should be house poor. I think that you should, you know, invest in a piece of property that you can live really nice and comfortably, that your family can expand, because, you know, they have children and they're going to one day have a family themselves, that you can, you know, bring back and be cozy and all that stuff, and have a nice piece of land, you know, at a good value that will go up in that market, and you know, bank the rest of your money. I mean, it's been a long time since Sheree has had a peach, right? So why would you put all that money in a house? I don't know. But I hear in Atlanta that they like to do that. I don't recommend that. That's just me. I'm more of the inconspicuous wealth. I'm not into the conspicuous wealth. I don't feel like I need my wealth on what I drive or what I live in or what I wear. That's just not what I want to be. But I understand that part of the franchise is a lot of this perceived decadence of wealth that the viewer gets to live vicarious through. But when you pull back the layers, a lot of people on the shows are not wealthy at all. Some of them maybe, have more money than, maybe us, but they don't have any real wealth. Oh, and then of course you've got Beverly Hills. And I would say Beverly Hills is Vanderpump, hands down. Vanderpump, then you've got the one, I can't think of her name, but with the long dark hair with her handsome husband, the real estate agent. They have money. And then the rest, yeah, they're doing okay, but I don't know. I just don't feel like you should put your wealth on so many material things that, you kind of fall from grace from the financial thing. Because if you live in a gated community and you live in a place where appearance is everything, then you are more prone to try to keep up with the Joneses. And I don't advocate. Who the hell is the Joneses anyway?